Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the Audit and Assurance Orientation applicable for exams in December 2024 and March 2025. And I am your tutor, Kashif Kamran. Let's first introduce myself before proceeding on with the orientation. Now, in terms of my tutor profile, I have 17 plus years of teaching experience, and I currently heads the Kashif Kamran's digital learning setup, also known as KKDL. I specialize in the AA paper, the AAA paper, and the SBL paper. One of my unique features is the exam-focused teaching style, which has resulted in significantly higher passing rates for all my three papers, AA, AAA, and SBL. And I'm also a registered mentor for Oxford Brookes University. Now let's take the center stage and let's start with the orientation. The very first thing we need to understand is the paper, the AA paper. Now, in terms of the AA paper, let's see, is there any prior knowledge which would be helpful when you are attempting the AA paper? The prior knowledge required for the AA paper primarily comes from the law paper and the financial reporting paper. You need to be well versed with the accounting standards and your financial reporting knowledge coming from the FR or the F7 paper. That is highly recommendable because there are areas in the AA syllabus which needs you to be well versed with the accounting knowledge. Particularly the questions which comes around audit risk needs a sound understanding of your accounting knowledge in the AA paper. And more importantly, you should be well versed with your law paper, primarily with the understanding of corporate governance, non-executive directors, and audit committee, because these are important topics in your AA syllabus. The AA syllabus. The AA syllabus consists of 5 syllabus areas. Let's look at each one of them. A is audit, framework, and regulation. B is planning and risk assessment, and a very core area for the AA examination. C is internal controls, another very important area when it comes to exam focus. D is audit evidence, another very important area because it has a strong emphasis in the section B of the paper. E is review and reporting. These are 5 syllabus areas. So when you look at the syllabus, it's not like a very broad or a very heavy syllabus. It's just like 5 syllabus areas, and you need to spend time on each one of them. B, C, and D are utmost important. They're like heavy contribution to your 100 marks paper. So you need to lay a strong emphasis on these 3 areas when you're preparing for your upcoming exams. In terms of the paper format and the time management, let's take an analysis of that so you have a holistic idea about your paper structure, and the time management you will be following when you're practicing at home and on the day of exam. When you look at this pie chart is giving you a clear picture that there are 2 sections you have in the AA paper, section A and section B. Section A is 30% of your total paper and section B is 70% of your total paper. You have 100 marks paper, so you can easily identify that section A is giving you 30 marks and section B is giving you 70 marks. Let's see what's the difference between the 2 sections. The section A, you have a total time of 180 minutes. So in terms of the 30% paper, you will be allocating 54 minutes to the section A in terms of your time management. There are 3 OT cases in section A, and each of the OT case will consist of 5 OT questions. So you need to tick the right answer. So you have an OT case, you will read through that OT case, and followed by that OT case, you will have 5 OT questions. You need to read that OT question and you need to choose the best answer which you think is right. So 5 OT questions with each OT case. So that means in total, you have a 15 OT questions in section A. 3 cases, each case having 5 OT questions. So that's 15 OT questions you have in the section A. and you have total 54 minutes for those 15 OT questions. So that means roughly 3.6 minutes per OT question, which is a lot. So you should not be in a hurry. You should not be in a haste. You should spend good time on section A, because a lot of time the student just rush over section A and compromise the quality. You should spend 54 minutes. You should take the right decisions. You should think of the right answer. 3.6 minutes per OT question. So that's good enough time to think and choose the best answer in the context of the OT case given to you. Then you come to the section B of the paper, which is constructed response section, where you need to write the answer, type the answer on the word processor given to you on the day of exam. This section is 70%. So definitely out of the 180 minutes, you allocate 126 minutes to this section. This is the heavyweight and consists of 3 constructed response questions. Question 1 for 30 marks, question which will have 54 minutes to be attempted in the exam time. Question 2 is of 20 marks, and you will have 36 minutes to attempt that. And same goes with question 3, another 20 marks question with the same time management of 36 minutes. Now you have 180 minutes, 30%, 70%. You divide them in that ratio. You get the time 126 minutes for section B, 54 minutes for section A. Now you know how many questions are there. You distribute that time among those questions, and that's an effective time management for the AA paper. I hope you will stick to that. And more importantly, you will not be in a rush over section A. Spend good 54 minutes. Try to produce the best results coming out of the section A. It's an area where you can gain lots of marks, provided you keep yourself calm and composed. Then in the constructed response area, section B, you need to write the answer. So you need to look into the case study, look into the requirements very carefully, and try to write a very good answer. And again, you will be learning all this from my course, which you have enrolled into. Okay, now moving away from the paper format and time management, let's look at the passing rates of the AA paper. I tried doing an analysis of all papers at the applied skill level, and you can see them on your screen with different colors. You can see the papers on your screen currently. And you can see the passing rates for AA, which in June 23 was 45%, 42% in September 23, 41% in December 23, 44% in March 24, and then 44% in June 24. Now, AAA is a challenging paper. When you compare the AAA passing rates with the other applied skill level paper, it's one of the lowest. It's almost equal to or close to the PM paper, performance management paper. Performance management paper is another challenging paper. And in some exam settings, we have seen that the performance management paper was either equal to the AA paper in terms of the passing rate or slightly lower. But when you look at the other papers like financial reporting paper or the financial management paper, you see a much more impressive passing rate. So AA is a challenging paper. And one of the underlying reasons of being a challenging paper is more like it's a theoretical paper. And students have more tendency, or they perform better in more numerical papers and less well in a theoretical paper. But we will be investigating the causes of the low pass rates in the AA paper. And definitely my passing rates are better off than the ones you're looking at in terms of your screen, which are the global pass rates. My average passing rates for AA is around 65%. Now let's investigate the causes or some journal causes of the AA having the low pass rates among all the applied skill papers, and how can we overcome these causes, because the overcoming of these causes are covered in my syllabus, which you will be going through on the learning management system. Why students fail the AA paper? I tried investigating the March-June 24 examiner report, which is a crucial document which tells us about the reasons why students fail in the AA paper. And this is the summary which I identified from that particular document. There are 5 reasons which was identifiable from the examiner report. The number 1 was insufficient knowledge of the syllabus. You need to have a good command of the syllabus, A, B, C, D, E. You are not doing a selective study. You should know everything which is in your syllabus, and you should go well prepared into your exam. So if you're doing a selective study, that is not the mechanism which will help you pass the AA paper. So have a sufficient knowledge, look at the course you have enrolled for on the learning management system, try to brush over the entire course and follow the instruction of the tutor. Number two, in terms of the number one, examining team is very much concerned about that the students have very weak knowledge when it comes to the audit reporting area. There are a lot of auditing standards around audit report. I've covered them in my classes. Be sure when you reach the syllabus area E, completion and reporting, you have a very good knowledge around audit reporting, because that's an area where the examining team believe the students have the most insufficient knowledge. So try to ensure you have a very strong command on knowledge, particularly around reporting in the syllabus area E. Lack of practice with exam questions. I'll be laying a very strong emphasis on that shortly. I have a whole section on practice where I will be coming to in my orientation, but student tends to practice less past papers, and that's one of the journal reason why they fail. Any paper in in ACCA qualification needs a good amount of practice. Number three is a failure to address requirements properly. This is for section B. In section B, you have 3 constructed response questions, 1 of 30 marks and 2 of 20 marks. You need to read and understand the requirement well, because only if you read and understand the requirement well, you can write a good answer. If you don't understand the requirement, or you partially understand the requirement, or you didn't understand the requirement from the perspective the examining team would have liked you to understand the requirement, you're giving a wrong answer. So understanding the requirement is also important. And when I do practice in my classes, I do lay a very strong emphasis on understanding the requirement, which is crucial. Vague responses. When you're writing the answer in the section B, your answers are not very well explained. They're very vague. If you are telling something, you're not explaining the why. If you think this is an ethical issue, you just might be saying this is a self-interest threat or a self-review threat, but you're not justifying why. If you are telling this is a weakness in the internal control, you're not telling the implication of that weakness for the organization. Or if you're saying this is a risk, but you're not telling exactly what is the risk, or what can be understated or overstated with that particular risk or the audit risk. So these are some fundamentals where student tends to perform less well in the AA paper. They're explaining something, but they're missing on the important points when they're explaining. And I do, again, put a very strong emphasis when I practice, and when you go with my practice sections on the LMS, you will see that I am reinforcing this concept again and again of explaining the implications, explaining the risk, telling examiner why this is an ethical issue. All such things are important when you're building up a good answer. And finally, the poor exam techniques in terms of not using the functionalities of the computer-based exams well. You have a computer-based exam. There are so much functionalities, like you can underline something, bold something, copy paste. Try to use those functionalities of a computer-based exam in terms of building efficiency and effectiveness, and in terms of presenting your answer in a much more professional manner. So despite being a computer-based exam, students are still not presenting their answer in a more professional manner. So either you're not aware of those commands given to you on the day of exam, or you're not making yourself familiar with those commands, how to use them. So again, that is one of another reason where examining team believes the student fail in the AA paper. So these are top 5 reasons why student fail the AA paper. And you will be covering each one of them once you start my syllabus. And I hope with better practice, following the approach of the tutor in the course, you will be overcoming these reasons and be successful. Okay, now to the most important thing, how to use the course on the portal. You have enrolled for my AA course. My AA course is on a learning management system, which is web-based learning management system, which is lms.kashifkamran.com. You go to that portal, you must have got your secured login and password. You will log into that portal and you will look at the course on your screen. I'll be showing you an interface of that shortly. How to use the course, the study resources, are there any extra study resources which you should opt for? Practice, how much practice would be sufficient? How can you email assignments to me for the review purpose? And what about the mock exam? Now, these are some frequently asked questions which I tried to put at one place so I can give you all the answers. Now, just first look at the course on the portal, then show you the glimpse of how to use that so that you have a good synchronization with my learning management system. Now, when you look at the AA syllabus, which I've just told you a few minutes ago, that the AA syllabus consists of 5 syllabus areas, A, B, C, D, E. Now, in terms of my coverage of each syllabus area on my, in terms of my course, this is how it looks like. For syllabus area A, I have total 8 lectures, which are approximately 12 hours and 40 minutes. For syllabus area B, planning and risk assessment, I have 9 lectures of approximately 15 hours. For syllabus area C, internal controls, I have 8 lectures of 9 hours. For syllabus area D, audit evidence, I have 7 lectures, approximately of 6 hours and 15 minutes. For syllabus area E, review and reporting, I have 5 lectures of 6 hours. So the total content is 49 hours, which you can see right in front here. So you have total 49 hours when you look at the breakup A, B, C, D, E. Now, in these 49 hours, definitely there is technical content and practice content going together. So you need to go down A, B, C, D, E in the order, finish one area, go to the next area. Then going in that order, you will complete A to E. And simultaneously, wherever there is practice, you do the practice. Whatever instructions are given, follow the instructions. Then, after the syllabus area E, there are some extra lectures on specific topics, which are total of 3 hours and they're total of 3 lectures. These are some extra lectures on specific topics which have not been covered in A, B, C, D, E. So I put an extra section on that. And then there are some additional exam practice, which are 13 lectures of 13 hours. So that is pure practice, which covers my webinars, which covers my exam drilling sessions, where I've tried to practice more. So you get another 13 hours of practice, which total up to 16 hours. So 3 hours of the specific supports and 13 hours of the lectures makes it 16 hours. So you accumulate 49 hours with 16. So that's like 65 hours you have on the portal. So you will spend 65 hours on the portal and you will complete this off, and this should be your first priority. So when you start it, you have 65 hours. You need to make a timetable looking at your challenges, looking at your scenario. You might be taking multiple papers for December or March, or you might be a job-based student, or you might be a full-time student. So according to that, you need to self-evaluate yourself. And on that basis, you need to make a timetable that in what time I will be finishing off these 65 hours. So then I can do broader practice and some extra revision. I'll be giving you a timetable, what sort of deadlines you can follow within which you should complete these 65 hours of syllabus coverage. But I hope you're fine with the breakdown. A, B, C, D, E, then some extra lectures on specific topics, and then additional exam practice for 13 hours. So that makes all going up to 65 hours. Just let me show you the glimpse of the portal. Here is the glimpse of the portal. When you log in, you will see the first, you can see the tabs on the upper side here. There are tabs on the top. One tab is orientation, which will be recorded and uploaded. Then you have section A, syllabus area A tab. Then you have B, then you have C, then you have D, then you have E. You finish off these 49 hours, and then you just scroll this on the right. You will see after the syllabus area E, additional supports, which I told you are 3 hours. So you will do these 3 hours of additional supports. Then you will go to the exam drilling sessions and webinars, which includes 13 hours of practice, and more will be added. So 13 hours is as of today when I'm conducting this orientation, but expect some 6 to 7 more hours to be added to it, because I will be doing a webinar for every exam sitting, be it December or be it March. So expect another 6 to 7 hours being added to this exam drilling section for December. And on top of that, for March, and expect another 5 to 6 hours. So if anyone is appearing for March, from now to March, expect another 12 hours to be added to exam drilling. But if anyone is appearing for December, expect 6 to 7 hours being added for more exam drilling for December 24 exams. So you have 65 hours as of today. So for December exams, expect these 65 hours going up to 72 hours approximately. And for the March 25 exams, expect these 65 hours going up to roughly 75 hours. So you go in the order, and finally at the end of the LMS, you can see resources. Now these are resources which are past papers, technical articles, so you are not going anywhere. Everything is on the LMS. You have all the past papers given to you on the LMS. These are past papers, the ones not available on ACCA practice platform. On ACCA practice platform, we only have the recent 7 papers. So if you want to do some more papers, or I have done another paper in my classroom and you want to refer to that paper, so you can just go back and refer to the old papers where you want to, or as guided to you in the conduct of the lectures by the tutor. So these are papers not available on the practice platforms given under this section. Past papers, the ones not on the practice platform. Then I've given the technical articles. These are all the technical articles I recommend my student to read. Every single technical article in this section has to be read, and I do emphasize on that in my lectures. Examiner reports. I've included examiner reports over here. And the reason of including these examiner reports here is that you need to read these examiner reports for section A. Every examiner report consists of a section A and B, but you will read section A, that is mandatory, because in section A, the examining report have covered the OTQs. And if you want to practice OTQs, that is one good source of practicing OTQs. So you'll open up the examiner report, you go to the section A, you will find 5 OT questions in every examiner report. So the ones I've included here, you will just be brushing over that. So I've included something like 7 examiner reports. So if you cover these 7 examiner reports, you will be covering through like 35 OT questions, because each of them have 5 OT questions. So that will be a good source for you to practice. So resources includes the examiner reports, technical articles, and past papers. These are resources you will be needing once you start covering my syllabus. So wherever I refer to a past paper, you can come here. The recent ones are on the ACCA practice platform. Wherever I refer to a technical article, come here, or wherever I refer to the examiner report, come here. So you will find all the resources right at one place. So this is the overview of the LMS you are going through. Okay, so that's the syllabus. That's how it is broken down on the LMS. I've just shown you the LMS and the resource section as well. And I've told you the number of incremental hours which could be added for December and March. Okay, now these are study resources. Number 1 is the tutor notes and presentation. Every section you do on my portal will have tutor notes and presentation. Let me show you that. Suppose you go to the section A first, which is the syllabus area A. You open up the syllabus area A. See over here, you can see the 2 Word files, tutor support files and presentation. Now that is something you will download first, keep it on your table, because that's from where I'm teaching. That's my teaching resource. And then you will go down after downloading these 2 and taking a printout to watch the lectures. You can see those video icons, which are the lectures. But on top, you can see the Word files, which are basically the PDF files, which consist of the support lectures and presentation. And this happens in every section, whether it is exam drilling or whether it is specific support. Across all the 65 hours, you will find my support files and presentations. So tutor notes and presentation for every section, take a printout, keep it on the table, and then start watching the lecture. So when you're watching the lecture, if you want to scribble something, add something, you will easily do that. So at the end of the day, they will become very comprehensive notes for you to use before the exam. Number two is the study hub. I'll just be showing you a glimpse of that and how critical that could be, because I'm not preferring that you go to the BPP or Kaplan book. If you want to read something extra, if you want to spend time on some extra reading beyond the 65 hours which are given to you on the LMS, you will go to the study hub and utilize that. So if any concept is weak or any topic is weak, you can just brush over with extra knowledge from the study hub. But the more important thing in study hub is the practice, not section B, section A, because for section B, I'll be giving you a different approach. But for section A, because you need to do a lot of OTQs to gain your confidence, so you have a lot of OTQs available on the study hub resources, and I'll be emphasizing on that shortly. So study hub is a good resource. Please ensure you utilize that, and I'll be showing you the section where we have the OT questions on the study hub just shortly. Number three is the examiner articles. I've just shown you my LMS and just shown you the technical articles on my LMS, the ones which I recommend. So all the technical articles are highly recommended to be read, the ones on the portal. Then the fourth is the examiner reports. I've shown you that on my resource, that examiner reports should be read for section A, at least to do more practice of OT questions, because each examiner report contains 5 OT questions and you can gain confidence. So number 1 and number 3 is like must. Number 2, study hub. If you want to do some extra reading, that's your option. But for OTQs, study hub is must. Number 4, examiner reports are must because you need to do the OTQs. So this is how the study resources could be utilized in a more effective manner. I'll be showing you a glimpse of study hub and the OTQs shortly. And I've already shown you the examiner reports, where they are and from where you will be accessing them, and the articles. Okay, study planner. The students enrolled with me for December 24, you will follow the study planner given to you for December 24, which is to finish your course maximum by 10th. This is 65 hours, including some extra hours like 5 to 6 being added. Post 10th November, up to the day of your exam, you will be practicing more intensively the recent papers. I'll show you the recent papers shortly on the practice platform. The recent papers are total 7. You will be investing a lot on those 7 recent papers after the 10th of November. And enjoy the AA December 24 webinar, which will be uploaded on the portal for December 24 students. And this is where I'm saying an extra 6 to 7 hours, right? So the December 24 webinar will cover more practice, and that will be enjoyed by the December 24 students. For the March 25 students, if you are with me for March 25, you will finish your course by the 8th of Feb 2025. Post 8th of Feb 2025, again, you will be investing on the 7 recent papers. It might become 8 by the time you do the March 25 session, but currently there's 7 recent papers. But by the time you go for March 25 exams, you might get another paper added by ACCA team. Enjoy the March 25 webinar, just like the students for December will be enjoying the December 24 webinar for additional practice of the recent papers. So these are the timelines. You need to stick within them. You need to complete the content on the LMS within these times, and then utilize the remaining time, like 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks before exams, for extensive past paper practice. And I'll just be giving you that approach. How would you do that extensive exam practice? Now, watch all the content in the order A, B, C, D, E, then some specific support, and then exam training. So you go in the order, finish off things, and wherever you do a past paper, whether recommended by the tutor or you want to do some extra past paper around the topic, whichever past paper you do, just email me that as an assignment at AAA-mock@gmail.com. It's AAA, because I'm utilizing one email for my AAA and AA. So you will use the AAA@mock@gmail.com for emailing me any of the past papers you're doing. Take printout of the tutor notes and presentations. I've guided you on that for every section, you will take a printout first and then start watching the lectures. Read all the technical articles recommended, follow all the resources on the LMS in the order, and practice a lot in the last 2 weeks. Once you finish off your course by 10th November for December 24 exams and 8th February for 2025, March 2025 exams, including practicing the recent papers and the OTQs on the study hub. Now, this is excellence in section A and B, and then I'll be taking you to the study hub and showing you it. Section A on the left, section B on the right, 10th November onwards. And for the March 25 students, 8th February onwards. This is excellence in section A and B. On the left side first, let's go with section A first. In terms of the section A, the first thing is the study hub. Study hub has 170 OT questions, which are divided into 31 topics. 170 OT questions. Look at the practice. They divided them into 31 topics for your ease. Then I have mentioned examiner reports, and I have mentioned that you should read through the 5 examiner reports on your screen here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 5 most recent examiner reports. When you go to my resources, it has 7. If you want to do all 7, wonderful. If you want to do the latest 5, that's also fine. Every examiner report have 5 OT questions. So if you do the latest 5, it's 5. Sorry, just one calculation error here. Each report has 5 OT questions, that's fine. But if you do these 5, it makes it 25, right? Not 30. But if you do 6, it will make it 30. If you do 7, it will make it 35, right? So it's up to you how many examiner reports are you doing. If you do 5, it's 25 OT questions you're getting out of those 5 examiner reports. If you do 6, then you get 30. Then for every exam sitting, whether it is December 24, you get a mock exam by ACCA, which is like 14 days or 15 days before the actual exam. And the same goes with March 25. 15 days before your actual exam, you get the mock exam by ACCA. In those mock exams, you have a complete section A. So a complete section A means another 15 OT questions. So you add up this and it becomes a total of 215 OT questions. 170 on the study hub. If you do 6 examiner reports, 6 multiplied by 5, 30 OT questions within the examiner report and 15 in your mock exam. So that is 215 OT questions, which you can do from 10th November onwards, and for the March students, 8th February onward. And you can do them in between your coverage of A, B, C, D, E. It's totally up to you. So I have given you a timetable, but you need to change this timetable according to your own circumstances. I'll be showing you the glimpse of the study hub now, because we've already covered the section on OT now, OT questions. If you go to the study hub, this is how the study hub looks like. You can read chapters where you think you want to, based upon your confidence level. But on the left panel of the study hub, you can see practice. You click on the practice, and that's where you find the OT questions. OT revision case chapter 1, OT revision case chapter 2. So they divided them into 31 chapters, and the total number of OTQs in all those 31 chapters is 170. So please ensure you complete this one. I'm not recommending the study hub for section B because I have a different approach for section B. But for section A, definitely the study hub will be an important resource because you have plenty of OT questions to practice. For section B, I've given the core areas which comes repeatedly in section B. And by the time you finish off the 65 hours, you will be very sure that, yes, this is the section B. You might not understand it in the orientation, but once you finish off the 65 hours, you will be affirmative, yes, that this is the summary of section B. Audit risk and responses, control deficiencies and recommendations with or without test of controls, TOCs. Direct controls and test of controls, substantive procedures, reporting implications, subsequent events, accounting issues. Knowledge of reporting around CAM, MURGC, corporate governance weaknesses and recommendations, and quality management issues in action. This is all what is covered in 65 hours. This is the crux of Section B. This is something which comes regularly from Section B. This makes up your 70% of the paper. How would you ensure you have a strong grip on Section B? After completing the 65 hours, you must have done a lot of practice around Section B. But to add on the practice, you will do the recent 7 papers on the practice platform for constructed response, not on the study hub, on the practice platform of ACC. I'll just be showing you that. 7 recent papers till today when I'm conducting this orientation. 7, and in every 7 papers, you have 3 constructed response questions. 1, 2, 3. So 7 multiplied by 3 is 21. So you have 21 CR questions. Plenty. This is what you're doing post 10th or post 8th when you finish off the 65 hours. You can do them in between. It's as per you wish. At least read the March, June 24 report for Section B to identify weaknesses why students fail. So for Section B, go to the March, June 24 report, go to the Section B, read it to understand why students fail in Section B. So at least you have a fair idea. So 21 CRs for Section B, 1 examiner report for Section B, that is it. Just let me show you the ACCA practice platform for the recent 7 papers. You go to the ACCA practice platform. This is audit and assurance. You click on the past exam library. And in the past exam library, you can see the 7 papers on your screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are from 2021, 2022, and 2023. By the time you go for the March 25 exam, there might be an addition of 1 more. But I think for the December 24 exams, it will be 7. If you want to add on to 7, though I don't prefer that, but if you want to add on to 7, you can add these 2 practice exams here. So that will be 9. But I will not recommend that. 7 actual exams. That is 21 constructed response questions. And I think that's wonderfully good preparation for Section B. Definitely you will be doing the mock, which ACCA publish. So the mock will have Section A and Section B. So definitely in the mock Section B, you will get another 3 CR questions. So the list will go up to 24. So this is how you can gain excellence. Just take a print out of this slide, keep this with you on the table, and ensure how would you fit in after the 10th of November or the 8th of February, or you will do it simultaneously. But whatever approach you adopt, this all has to finish. Section A, Section B, this all has to finish before you enter the exam hall. So now it's up to you how you manage it. Mock submission. You will do the ACCA December 24 mock or the March 25 mock as the case with you be, and submit for the tutor feedback, and then watch the tutor debrief on the mock, which I upload on the portal for December and March. But first you will finish your mock, submit it. Once you get the result of the mock, then you will watch the mock debrief. The last day to submit the mock for December 24 students is November 23rd, not after that. If you submit after that, it will not be checked. And for the March 25 student, the last day to submit is 20th of February. If you submit after that, it will not be checked. AAAmock@gmail.com. That's where you're emailing the mock. Okay, that is it for the orientation. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. I've given you a glimpse of Study Hub for using the Section A. I've given you a glimpse of the recent 7 papers on ACCA practice platform. I've given you a glimpse of my LMS as well. I have gone over Section A, Section B, given you the deadlines, how to email me, how to reach me. I hope everything is sound and clear. It's just about you logging into the LMS and starting your course. And I'm there with you in the WhatsApp group. Any queries, any questions, as my students, you're more than welcome to ask me anything. And I'm there to respond to you within 24 hours of your query being dropped into the WhatsApp. All the best to all of you. Study effectively, devise an approach, stick to that, and aim for excellence. Your tutor Kashif Kamran signing off from the AA December 24 and March 25 orientation. Take care, goodbye, and Allah Hafiz.